What is going on, guys? DBG here, and in this video we're going to be talking about the 5 best and 5 worst value power forwards in NBA 2K17. Obviously I got a lot of hate for putting Dennis Scott in it in my small forwards one because he's only valued so high because he's in the collection for Ruby Shaq. So I'm going to try dodge any players that's value is solely because they're in a collection for a good player. At number 5 we have got the best power forward of all time, my favourite power forward ever, one of my favourite players ever, and it's Tim Duncan. I recorded this video about 20 minutes ago, but the footage became corrupt and there was about 15 of them. Now there is 7 and nothing under 70k, even though there's one up for like 58k when I was making this the first time. But Tim Duncan, really good player, but only comes with 11 gold badges, which is not great. And if you compare him to a card like Kevin Garnett, this card is about 6k and it is not on my best value list and didn't even come close to making it. While Duncan is better, he's not better by much. Overall stats, Duncan does trump Garnett, obviously, because it's worth more than 10 times as much, but this Duncan is not that much better and it costs 10 times as much. So while Duncan's a great card, definitely not good value. And number 4 is a little bit of a weird one. It's Ruby Anthony Davis. That's somewhere between 20 and 25k normally, and it was an extremely good player. Like, these stats are really good and he plays really well in game. The reason why he's bad value is I'm going to put the stats of the Ruby compared to the Sapphire on the screen right now. As you can see, the Ruby and the Sapphire are almost identical, even though the Ruby has a much better offensive rebound, a little bit better defense rebound, and a tiny bit better block, but like almost identical. Is a better offensive rebound worth paying twice the price? For me it isn't. And for a lot of people it isn't. If you're willing to spend twice as much to get a little bit better offensive rebound, go ahead, that's up to you. But this card is 7.7k at its lowest right now, and I've seen it up for 6.5k. At number 3 we've got Chris Webber, who's a good card, a really good card, but he's somewhere between 7.5 and 10k depending on when you're looking at it. And like, I'm comparing it to David Lee, who is 1k, and again, not that much better. While Chris Webber has a bad 3-point shot and David Lee has a non-existent shot, 3-point shot, that's why he looks better there. And he's better, obviously, has much better ball control, but overall, it's not that much better than David Lee. Yep, David Lee, it's quicker, yeah, much quicker, but really it's not quick enough that it makes that much of a difference. And to be honest, there are power forwards for about 2 to 3k that are better than this card. While it's great to use Chris Webber is going to have a better card this year, and this card was very fun to use when it came out. Right now it is one of the worst value cards. At number 2 we have got Ruby Karl Malone, who I know you might be thinking 25k for a Ruby 89 overall, that's great value. That would have been the case 3 weeks ago, but right now it's just, I don't know who I'm going to compare it to. I know Serge Ibaka, that's a good emerald card, that's about 1k to compare it to. And this Karl Malone is a great post fadeaway, but a bad post hook, and post hooks are way more overpowered. Good free throw, 76, decent open shot mid, a non-existent open shot 3, can't block shots even though it is a good defender. Driving dunk 75 is decent, speed of 70 is decent as well, but yeah, this card is worth about 10k. 25k definitely overpriced and bad value. And number 1 by a mile is this Amethyst Dennis Rodman, who is between 50 and 60k. Obviously it does have the 4 Amethyst badges. Hustle, rebound, and defense stopper are 2 great ones, but chase down artist and rim protector. This card has a 50 block. A 50 block, so it's not going to get many blocks even with those Amethyst badges. So I'm going to compare it to Josh Smith, who's about 11k. Josh Smith is a much better inside, a much better shooter. Like, Dennis Rodman is such a liability on offense because he can't make a shot from anywhere, but for some reason has a 62 shot 3. Free throw, Dennis Rodman's better just because Josh Smith is awful. 65 is not a good rating, especially Rodman's release. Rodman is a much better rebounder with 99, 98 and 99 box out, but at 6'7", he's still going to get out rebounded by the likes of Sean Bradley. So if you're using him, if you want a rebounder, there's no point having a 6'7" guy in there. Bad shot block of 50, whereas someone like Josh Smith is 92. Defensive ratings are very similar. Rodman with the slight nod, obviously because he's one of the best defensive players of all time. And then dunking speed, Josh Smith is better with everything. So When you have an alternative like Josh Smith, and there's a lot of others, I just picked Josh Smith out, there's no need to spend more than 25k on this Rodman. This Rodman realistically should be worth somewhere between 20 to 25k, but it's worth 50 to 60, so definitely the worst value card. And now we are on to our best value power forwards. I'm going to go through this quick because I think I spent too much time talking about the worst value, and just as a warning, before you kill me, there is a small forward on this list, and the only reason he's there is because from using him, he does not play well at small forward, but is probably the best stretch 4 I've used this year. So at number 5, we have got the guy, I'm not going to try to pronounce his name, Jianlian. I'm not going to pronounce his name, but he's a glitch card, so you can't search for him on the auction house. Right now, the cheapest he's up for is, I think, 2.5k, 2.3k, yeah. You will find him for anywhere between 800 coins and 10k whenever you look, because you can't search for him by name. He's hard to search for, so it's just an awkward thing. But you should just keep checking for him, and if you see him for less than 2k, pick him up. Great card, 7 foot tall, decent post hook, decent post fadeaway, open shot 3 of 78, not the worst rebounder, 87 block shot, and 69 speed, which is actually feels a lot higher. At number 4, we have got a player that I'm not really going to talk much about because I've already talked about him, and it is Sapphire Anthony Davis. Yeah, this card is exceptional, 7k. And to be honest, you can pick him up for 6k a lot of the times. When the new team packs come out, this card will drop to about 6k. But yeah, like really, really solid. And even though the stats do not look great on this card in comparison to other power forwards, it's Anthony Davis. And as everyone knows, Anthony Davis just plays really well in game. Really nice animations, really good at everything. And at number 3, we have got the small forward. And it's Keith Van Horn. Actually, Keith Van Horn has gone up so much in price since I last checked. This card was like 2.8k at one stage, but that was when it had no badges on it. Still, at 3.9k you can't go wrong. Why he's good as a power forward? He's 6'10" for one. Shoot, look at these badges: corner specialist, all the dead eyes, limitless range, pick and popper. Pick and popper means he's going to be great as a stretch 4 and catch and shoot, so he's not going to miss if he's open, especially off a pick and pop. Post fadeaway of 75, so he's good inside. Open shot 3, 90. Connect shot 3, 89. Good mid-range shot. Good free throw. And his rebounding, 74 and 78. While it's not exceptional, it does the job. Especially with the fact that he's 6'10 and has decent rebounding shots. He's a really good power forward to have. At number 2, we have got Emerald Kristaps Porzingis, who is about 5k MT. Actually, is it cheaper? Is it cheaper? 4.5k MT, yeah. Comes in no badges, but the majority of the time you can find them badged up a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to compare it to the gold, because I'm not going to compare it to the 90, it'll make it look awful. For some reason, except for his physical stats, 2K bumped every stat by at least 4, and the majority of them by exactly 4. I don't know why, but they bumped them by most of the stats by exactly 4. But the ones that really matter, that open shot 3 of 85. With Porzingis' release, the +4 box out and rebounding, 78 defense rebound is good, 85 block is great, ready for shot contest. The reason why it's great is because, as everyone knows, Porzingis is 7'3" and fairly quick, 72 speed. This card is a steal, and so many people use this card because it's a beast. It's unbelievable. And number 1, if you watch my channel, you definitely guessed it, and it is Channing Frye. Yep, Channing Frye. Right now, there is none up for 500 MT, but trust me, on every refresh, there is at least one. I'm going to show you a card in the collection or in the auction house, just because of I can show you its in-game stats. Like decent, like really decent player. Not great stats, but for some reason scores inside a hell of a lot. Open shot 3 of 90. He's just money anytime he's open for me. Free throw 85. I don't think he misses. He's probably shooting way higher percentage than that for me. For some reason, he gets a ton of rebounds, even though his rebounding stats isn't great. And he blocks so many shots. If anyone's used Channing Frye in any 2K, they know how many shots he blocks, even though he only has a 57 rating. 6'11", plays like he's about 7'3". And just as proof, I don't play many games. Like, I do not play many games. Like, you look at this LeBron, 11 games played. You look at my MyTEAM online, I've played about 35 games. But Channing Frye has played the most games for me out of anyone. I have Ruby power forwards. Channing Frye plays more than them. He's played the most games for me, averages 9 points a game. And I've used him in Ruby leagues, things like that. shoots 57.4% from the field, shoots 49.7% from 3, and 88% from the free throw line. Is the top scorer in my team with nearly 500 points. No one scored nearly as much, and is probably in my top 3 or 4 favourite players in 2K17 after the likes of Darius Miles, Corey Maggette, and to be honest, I can't think of any more off the top of my head. So anyway, that's the video. I know a lot of people weren't really expecting Channing Frye to be on this list, but this is my list, and this is one of my favourite guys in the game, so I can't leave it off.